Professor, I want to begin with angry accusations from Israel in regards to these arrest warrants by ICC, calling it anti-Semitic, unfair. Is ICC, in fact, an independent body? Can you please explain to our audience what you can about the International Criminal Court?
The International Criminal Court is an impartial body created by the Rome Statute from 1998. Two-thirds of the members of the United Nations are members of it. That's 124 member states. The judges are elected by the Assembly of State Parties to the Rome Statute. They come from the highest qualifications from around the world. And the same thing is true with respect to the principle of impartiality going to the Office of the Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. And again, he's chosen by the Assembly of State Parties. And there's been a string of distinguished lawyers who've reached that position over the last 20 years. So in terms of bias, in terms of partiality, I don't think those arguments have a lot to stand on. I mean, this is probably fairly typical of the reaction that Israel has been making over the last 13 months with respect to resolutions coming from the Security Council, resolutions coming from the General Assembly, decisions coming from the International Court of Justice, and now this announcement today with respect to the arrest warrants coming from the International Criminal Court.
What about U.S. reaction? Are you surprised by that? The United States is also rejecting the accusations. The U.S. has also rejected the notion that the ICC has any kind of jurisdiction in this case. Does that have any weight?
I'm afraid it doesn't. Let's remember that neither the United States nor Israel are members of the Rome Statute. The United States made its position clear in June when the prosecutor at the ICC issued his application for the arrest warrants. We've now waited 5 months, and finally the court has made its decision today with respect to this. And as angry as these words are coming from the Biden administration, rejecting the court's jurisdiction over Israeli individuals, I suspect we're going to see even harsher responses coming from the incoming Trump administration. Remember, during the first Trump administration, it wound up issuing sanctions against the prosecutor and some other leading officials at the International Criminal Court. And in the last several months, we've seen a number of letters being written by Republican senators to the court, basically saying, we're warning you, don't go any farther with respect to this. So if there's a breach between the U.S. and the ICC now, it's going to get only even wider, I think, beginning in late January.
So what happens next, Professor? What are the next steps? Will this change anything? And in terms of any kind of enforcement mechanism, it sounds like the only people who can enforce this are member countries that are involved in the ICC. For example, if Benjamin Netanyahu travels to Berlin, France, or London, he could potentially be arrested.
Yes, look, the 124 member states of who belong to the Rome Statute and the ICC all have an obligation under the statute to arrest anybody on their soil for whom there is an arrest warrant that has been issued by the court. That would include most of Europe, including Berlin, Paris, London. It would include my country, Canada, Australia, Japan, and a number of other countries with respect to this. So the world for Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant has gotten a lot smaller as a result of this arrest warrant application being accepted by the court. Now, the court cannot try those two individuals in absentia. They actually have to be either arrested or voluntarily surrender themselves to the court in order for the trials to go ahead. So there may not ever be a trial if they are wise enough not to enter into the soil of any of the member states. But
Understood.
Is this a good day for accountability and international law?
Well, before we wrap things up, I'm running out of time. I got to ask you why the ICC would issue an arrest warrant for Mohammad Deif, the Hamas military commander, when Israel says they killed him earlier this year.
Hamas, in June, the prosecutor issued arrest warrants for 3 senior Hamas leaders. 2 of them have been killed, and their deaths have been confirmed. To the best of my knowledge, Mohammed Deif's death has not been confirmed by Hamas. Therefore, the arrest warrant was issued on the possibility that he's still alive.
Understood. We'll have to leave it there. Michael Lynk, thank you.